people who dislike Hillary Clinton are going to get a little bit of a, I guess, a boost. Hillary Clinton is going to be required to answer additional questions to Judicial Watch. Now, Judicial Watch apparently filed the Freedom of Information Act. And I was reading through this. This was, I got to be honest, kind of funny. What it boils down to is they asked her several questions based on the email thing. Essentially, how on earth did you create an email server? Now, she disputed a lot of this, meaning she essentially ignored a lot of this, saying that she objected to some of the questioning and that type of stuff. Now, that said, in this case, though, the judge has required her to answer two additional questions that Judicial Watch wanted Hillary Clinton to answer. So right here, let's just take a look at the document. Yeah, so right here. Judicial Watch, federal court orders Hillary Clinton to answer additional email questions under oath. In 2016, Clinton was required to submit under oath, and this is FOIA, Freedom of Information Act. Ironically, if I'm not mistaken, it was Bill Clinton that put this in, to announce today that the U.S. District Court Judge Emmett G. Sullivan ruled that within 30 days, Hillary Clinton must answer under oath two additional questions about her controversial email system. In 2016, Clinton was required to submit under oath written answers to Judicial Watch's questions. Clinton objected to and refused to answer questions about the creation of her system, email system. Her decision to use the system despite warnings from State Department cybersecurity officials and the basis of the claim that the State Department had 90 to 95% of her emails. After a lengthy hearing yesterday, Judge Sullivan ruled that Clinton must address two questions that she refused to answer under oath. 1. Describe the creation of the clintonemail.com system, including who decided to create the system and the date it was decided to create the system, why it was created, who set it up, and when it became operational. And 2, during your October 22nd, 2015 appearance before the United States House of Representatives Select Committee on Benghazi, oh God, you testified that 90 to 95% of your emails were in the state system, and that if we wanted to see them, they would certainly be able to do so. Identify the basis of this statement, including all of the facts which you relied on to support the statement, how and when you became aware of these facts, and if you were made aware of these facts through any person, identify the person who made you aware of these facts. Now you can see what they're getting at here. They're trying to say you lied. You opened your mouth and lied. We want you to admit that you lied. Now, she's not going to admit that she lied, but they want her to say, why did you say something that was laughably true? They didn't have 99%, 95% of your emails. And if you believe that, meaning giving you the benefit of the doubt and saying you believe that number to be true, why did you believe that number to be true? What were the supporting facts to back up your thinking of this, the cognitive processes that were going on when you were spewing this stuff? And if somebody told you this, meaning if you were relying on a material expert that said that you had 95 to 95% of your stuff in this thing, which it wasn't, who was that person? I don't hate these questions because I think Clinton should have been locked up for the email thing in and of itself, or at the very least indicted. Locked up. I don't like seeing people just regularly thrown in prison. I think we have too many people in our prison system. That said, with the level of political corruption that you have, you got to start somewhere. But you can't necessarily start at one person. If you're going to do it across the board. But that said, anybody else in this situation would have went to jail. They would have been imprisoned by now. And the idea that Clinton skated on this, it makes a mockery of the judicial system entirely. For Comey to give that speech that Comey gave, and for Comey to say, look, foreign actors have gotten hold of this email And she knew better. And then Trey Gowdy got him to admit, yes, she lied in multiple occasions, but no charges. No charges. We can't recommend charges. Utter nonsense. Utter nonsense. That woman is corrupt as all day is long. The question becomes, what is she going to answer these with? Because I like the way they ask the questions. They just want a more fuller understanding of the cognitive processes that got you to lie. They know she lied. This puts me in mind of the George Costanza episode where George is with the parents of the woman that ended up dying because she was licking the stamps. And George lied to the parents, and the parents went along with the lie knowing that George was lying. Even to the point of getting in a car, driving for like 3-4 hours out of the city, all this stuff, knowing full well that he was lying, but sitting in the car with him until the damning reality of the lie was brought to light. I'm giving way too many TV and movie references today. It's the shit that I got in my head. I'm going to leave this here. I'm not going to bathe in this. But I got to be honest, I do like the fact that they're hounding the shit out of her. Especially since anybody else would have been incarcerated on these charges. By the way, Brian Nishimura, was locked up for doing the same thing that Hillary Clinton was doing. The only difference, however, is he didn't have billions of dollars in the bank, and his last name wasn't Clinton. So, I'll leave this here because this one was not meant to be long. George killed Susan. That was it. Yes. Technically didn't kill her, but yes, I know what you. Yes, the parents assume blame him for it. All right. I'm glad somebody else has watched also Seinfeld and know what I'm talking about. This needs to be investigated to the Hillary Clinton behind the nomination collusion in the DNC. David Kapoor agreed. They cheated in the last primary. This one is specifically different, though. I mean, if her name was Jamarl Thomas, Hillary Clinton would have been put under the prison. They let her walk while simultaneously putting Trump onto this Russia nonsense. You had all the evidence in the world for Clinton. They ignored it. You had no evidence for Trump. And they just trumped up this Russia collusion stuff. Everybody that they've tapped for the Russia collusion stuff had nothing to do with Russia. All that stuff was stuff that had happened before. And then the people who they did get from Russia, oh, that was laughable. Facebook and Twitter ads. Facebook and Twitter ads. I'm not even sure that's a law. Just making shit up. But from the standpoint of breaking the law, it is laughable to listen to Comey give that rundown of everything that took place with it and then come away with the conclusion that she was innocent. You can even make an argument that it makes it look worse because it looks like that there's some kind of, unfair dealings on the inside. It's gross. But they're asking these questions to kind of bring home this point that you're lying. You're lying. And if you don't want to own the lie, who are you going to pass that lie on to? It's laughable that buying the DNC is not illegal. You would think it would be, right? But you would think that campaign corruption in general would be illegal. If you listen to Comey's closing statement on the FBI investigation and claim, he basically says she broke the law. Yeah. In fact, you know what? Let's pull it up. I've done this video so many times, which is the reason why I didn't necessarily want to go into it now. But let's hear it.
The C-SPAN network. Finally, none of those we found have since been up-classified. 60,000 that were remaining on her system at the end of 2014. It's highly likely that their search missed some work-related emails and that we later found them, for example, in the mailboxes of other officials or in the Slack space of a server. It's also likely that there are...
The C-SPAN networks bring you
secret by the U.S. intelligence community at the time it was discussed on email. That is, excluding any later up-classified emails. None of these emails should have been on any kind of unclassified system, but their presence is especially concerning because all of these emails were housed on unclassified personal servers, not even supported by full-time security staff, like those found at agencies and departments of the United States government, or even with a commercial email service like Gmail. I think it's also important to say something about the marking of classified information. Only a very small number of the emails here containing classified information bore markings that indicated the presence of classified information. But even if information is not marked classified in an email, participants who know a personal email domain was both known by a large number of people and readily apparent. She also used her personal email extensively while outside the United States, including sending and receiving work-related emails in the territory of sophisticated adversaries. Given that combination of factors, we assess it is possible that hostile actors gained access to Secretary Clinton's personal email account. So that's what we found. Finally, with respect to our recommendation to the Department of Justice. In our system, the prosecutors make the decisions about whether charges are appropriate based on evidence that the FBI helps collect. Although we don't normally make public our recommendations to the prosecutors, we frequently make recommendations and engage in productive conversations with prosecutors about what resolution may be appropriate given the evidence. In this case, given the importance of the matter, I think unusual transparency is in order. Although there is evidence of potential violations of the statutes regarding the handling of classified information, our judgment is that no reasonable prosecutor would bring such a case.
That's nonsense. The guy who Trump puts in now has made the argument that he's a reasonable prosecutor and there were classified documents found on her server. She did lie about it, and that him being a reasonable prosecutor, he would have bought the case. In fact, listen to Trey Gowdy. I wasn't going to do this, but fuck it. Let's do it. We're here together. I will... right here.
Catch tomorrow afternoon. I'm not going to go through any more. True. Good morning, Director Comey. Secretary Clinton said she never sent or received any classified information over her private email. Was that true?
Our investigation found that there was classified information sent.
So it was not true.
Right. That's what I said.
Okay. Well, I'm looking for a little shorter answer, so you and I are not here quite as long. Secretary Clinton said there was nothing marked classified on her emails either sent or received. Was that true?
That's not true. There were a small number of portion markings on, I think, 3 of the documents.
Secretary Clinton said, I did not email any classified material to anyone on my email. There is no classified material. Was that true?
There was classified material emailed.
Secretary Clinton said she used just one device. Was that true?
She used multiple devices during the 4 years of her term as Secretary of State.
Secretary Clinton said all work-related emails were returned to the State Department. Was that true?
No, we found work-related emails, thousands, that were not returned.
Secretary Clinton said neither she nor anyone else deleted work-related emails from her personal account. Was that true?
That's a harder one to answer. We found traces of work-related emails on devices or in Slack space, whether they were deleted or whether when a server was changed out, something happened to them. There's no doubt that there were work-related emails that were removed electronically from the email system.
Secretary Clinton said her lawyers read every one of the emails and were overly inclusive. Did her lawyers read the email content individually?
No.
Well, in the interest of time, and because I have a plane to catch tomorrow afternoon, I'm not going to go through any more of the false statements.
I've done entire videos on this, so I'm not necessarily going to go through the entire video again. But my point was, Comey reads out a list of sins. And in that list of sins gives the number of emails that were classified, in so many cases saying that nobody should have these things on their computer, especially an unprotected computer, saying that Hillary Clinton should know the difference, being that she was the wife of a president, not to mention Secretary of State, and she should have a better sense of security than this. There's no excuse that somebody with these positions would be this flagrant. I'm not going to say incompetent, but at the very least not caring about the security of her particular system, and then sets this weird standard of intent. Sets a bizarre standard of intent. Whether she intended to do it or not is somewhat irrelevant to the process. I mean, ultimately, I'm just saying he gave her a magnificent leeway in this in order to come away with reading her sins for 15 minutes and then turning around saying, yes, I've enumerated several things that would be against the law if this was an average person, but she's not an average person. She's Hillary Clinton, so we're going to let her walk. Trey Gowdy gets him there and reads him the riot act saying she lied about this, and this. What is that evidence of? Is that not evidence of somebody who essentially committed a crime and is trying to get away from the crime? Look, personally, I think Comey had to fix was in. That Comey let her walk. When Loretta Lynch was essentially talking to Bill Clinton, and then tried to say that they were just talking about their grandkids, nonsense. Come on, that stretches the imagination with regards to what these people are going to talk about, seeing that his wife may get pinched for being negligent with state secrets. I mean, come on, this is lunacy. That Comey could come to the conclusion that he came to, and then saying transparency. And in the moment that he said, I need to be radically transparent, you knew that he was going to lie. You knew he was going to lie. He let her walk. So I have no issue with Judicial Watch bugging the shit out of her for something like this. Yeah. I'm not going to go full throttle into a Hillary thing again, but I'm just saying I have no issue with Judicial Watch doing this. Lynch was Comey's boss. Yes, that's right. She was. And Comey said himself, he was weirded out by this thing where she seemed to have leaned on him or seemed to want him to change the language that he was using to talk about the case or this criminal investigation because of the campaign. Well, right off the bat, he's getting across that she was leaning on him in a way that was flagrant abuse of authority in this case. I mean, come on, let's be honest. This wasn't something that was integral to the system itself. This was her appointed by a Democrat, a Democratic president, who also appointed Hillary Clinton to her post. And Loretta Lynch, certainly, whether she had a conversation with Obama or not, knew that Hillary Clinton was going to run for president, didn't want Hillary Clinton pinched or locked up, and had every incentive in the world to lean on Comey. Comey comes out saying, I felt uncomfortable by the way she wanted me to talk about the case. That's literally leaning on him. That's literally leaning on him. It's like, come on. Come on. She walked. Judicial Watch is a bit shabby, though I'm all for all this. Yeah, they're shabby. This is not the organization that you want to, rah-rah. These guys are right-wingers, so don't misunderstand me. Yeah, these are not the guys you want to rah-rah. They are hardcore right-wingers, and they are fanatical about this. You think H.A. Goodman is bad. These guys are H.A. Goodman on steroids. But on this, I agree. On this very specific point, I agree. Hillary will make a great president, Bernie said. Oh, God, that's funny. That's funny. Let's investigate Bush for war crimes. Yes, agreed. It's a lot worse than some of the emails. No, I agree, Jose. Jose C, I agree. Bush should be investigated for war crimes. The guy that didn't investigate him for war crimes was essentially Hillary Clinton's boss, Barack Obama, the one that beat Hillary Clinton in the last election, or in the election before last. Yes, I'm all for that. I'm all for that. Please lock her up before she runs another fucking election. I know, truly. I know. But I don't want to use our prison system to stop people from running in elections. I just want to stop her from running in elections. But this, yes, she lied magnificently, and Comey let her off. Full stop. Full stop. All right, I will end this here. And this is probably going to be the last video because I feel like it's going to pop. If you guys enjoy the content, please feel free. Oh, Winky, I'm sorry, I missed this. Wipe, you mean like with a cloth? HRC lies. Yes, wipe, like wipe the servers. Wipe the servers. But we mean rub out information. Rub out information. Yeah, she had access to classified information and was allowing that information to get into the hands of pretty much everybody. Anyway, is this Theresa May's last week, Jamal? I don't know, man. People are saying it. I mean, they've gone to the 1922 committee of backbenchers to try to drag her out of office. We will see. I think the thing that people are concerned about is that Jeremy Corbyn is going to be next. So whatever they think about Theresa May, they're terrified of Corbyn. D. Martin, how's your health? I have a cold, D. Martin. My wife has had a cold for the past several days. And I am stuck in this tiny, tiny room with her. So it was only a matter of time. So, all right. I'm going to end this here. If you guys enjoy the content, please feel free to share, like, subscribe. And you can always support through PayPal or Patreon. Thanks all. I'm gonna have to clean